Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Poppin Off. I am your host, Pd PopOff. How's everybody doing out there, huh? We doing all right? We doing good? We doing great? Grand. So yeah, just wanted to chime in on the current state of my life, pop off a little bit, delve into the philosophical and psychological bullshit, you know? So a few episodes ago, I was talking about getting my meta glasses and about how I noticed people were behaving. Well, it all came crashing down, ladies and gentlemen. At my place of employment, I got a call from HR, and they asked me straight out, like, "Hey, Petey, do you have the meta glasses?" And I said, "Yeah." They said, "Are you recording content at work and putting it up on your socials?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "That's forbidden. It's in your handbook." And I said, "Okay." And they said, "You cannot record, photograph, any of the such, any employees, any third party vendors, any customers, or any property of ours." And I said, "Okay." And I think HR was taken aback by my cooperativeness because I literally, that's all I said was, "Okay." And then HR reiterated, "We know that you have videos up on Instagram." And I said, "Yeah, I just told you I'm putting, I've put up content on my socials. Yeah." And they doubled down even more strict and harsh, and they said that is forbidden. It is in the handbook. So I was kind of getting the gist from the tone of the conversation, and the way I was presenting myself was nonchalant, like not that I didn't care, but that it was beneath me, like not arrogant beneath me, but just like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Okay, it's on social medias. I'll take it down. But they kept reiterating that it's in the handbook, and it, like honestly, it feels like they were trying to goad me into a temper tantrum. And they kept saying, these glasses are forbidden, and I shit you not, they made mention that it was in the handbook no less than 3 times, to the point where I finally got a little argumentative. I got a little defensive, but I said, "Well, excuse me, so and so HR, I've read the handbook, and it doesn't say that I can't have meta glasses. What it does say is that I cannot operate them while I'm driving or maneuvering any machinery, which I'm not." And she paused, and then she said, "Pd PopOff, they are forbidden. You cannot have them." And I said, "Okay. Um, what should I do? Because these are prescription glasses. These aren't accessories. These aren't for aesthetics. These are prescription." And they said, "You're going to have to get new glasses that are in compliance with our code of conduct and our policies." And I said, "Okay, but these are, according to the handbook, these are." And then I followed it up with, "I'm not trying to be argumentative, and I'm not trying to be defiant, but you keep telling me to refer to the handbook, and I am. Aside from you telling me not to record, take pictures, or any of the such, that's one thing, and I'll gladly not do that. That's, I won't do that. But as far as compliance is concerned, it says nothing about me not being able to have these." And they said, "If you want to continue working for us, you need to figure, quote unquote, if you want to continue working for us, you need to figure it out." And I said, "Okay." And they said, "Thank you." And I said, "Okay, Is that all? And she said, excuse me? And I said, yeah, yeah, is that all? And she said, yes. I said, okay. Now, mind you, my regional supervisor was on the phone as well. And it's never a good thing when they're on the phone. And I said, so and so, Mr. Regional Supervisor, is that all? And he said, yes, Pd. Yes, Mr. Popoff. That's it. I, okay, thank you. Have a great day, you guys. I got two schools of thought, right? The first is I don't like being told what the fuck to do. I just don't. I don't like being told what the fuck to do. I don't like being quote unquote controlled and treated like a child. That's the first school of thought, right? The second school of thought is if you're going to come at me with some shit, you got to make sure it's tight because I'm an asshole, right? Like I'm a fucking psycho. I am an obsessive psycho. I will find the loopholes. I will find the wording. I will find the verbiage. So you better make sure that what you're saying lines up with what you are enacting. And they didn't, which is why I was left with a slap on the hand saying, stop it. And why I'm also still wearing my Meta glasses 3 weeks later. Now, I'm not a complete douchebag. I am a douchebag, but not a complete one. Because at the end of the day, I love making content. I love making my podcast. I love making stupid videos. I like making people rage and get trolled and make them laugh. Right? Like it's a sickness. It's my lane. I like it. But I also enjoy the paychecks that I receive from my job more. Right? My job ensures my stability. It ensures my security. And unfortunately, I have to compromise a little bit of my authenticity and a little bit of my values, I guess you could say, to ensure that security. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. I am a champion for free speech. I champion that and I'm not hurting anybody. Right? Like the content that I put up wasn't hurting anybody. In fact, the content that I put up was shared directly to their Facebook page. And people loved it. People were showing their kids, their grandkids, their wives what we do. The community as a whole enjoyed it. HR did not. So it puts me in a weird spot because it's like I said, that school of thought, I don't like being told what to do. And also, you're telling me about a made up policy. It's not in our handbook. I read that handbook through and through before and after I got that call because I wanted to make sure that my shit was tight. It says nothing about it. Even in the amendments that they made in the beginning of the year, it says nothing about AI glasses other than they are not to be used or operated. Excuse me, they are not to be used while operating machinery. And it was lumped in right with cell phones, smartwatches, etc., as it can be a distraction. All the other shit that she was talking about, that's nowhere in the handbook. I guess that's just, their policy. Even though it's not in the handbook, it's like an unspoken policy, right? Like we don't want you leaking trade secrets, customer anonymity, staff anonymity. We don't want you leaking any of our proprietary information, which I get. Okay. Hey, shame on me, right? Like I'm not a complete douchebag. When HR put it in that language to me, oh, okay, I got you. I totally get it. I'll take it down. My apologies. I get it. That's not what I have the issue with. The issue I have is the tone and the verbiage that was used and also the information, the articles that she was trying to cite. It doesn't say that shit in the handbook. It just doesn't. Which is probably why she paused when I read it back to her, because I have it right here on my phone. I pulled it right up and I read it back to her. I said, I'm not using them while I'm driving. I'm not using them when I'm using machinery. Not at all. I don't use my phone. I don't use my smartwatch. I don't own a smartwatch. But yeah, I don't. I'm not distracted. So, it just frustrates me, right? Like, I can be a big enough man to say, okay, yeah, hey, I, I, I get it. The company, it's a big corporation. You don't want any information leaked out to the socials. Um, you don't want your competition getting information. You want to protect your customer and staff's anonymity. I rock with that. I respect that. Right? Like, I totally respect that. Shame on me. My bad. Won't do it again. But don't fucking tell me to figure it out when I'm asking you for a reasonable solution. Don't tell me figure it out if you want to continue working here when I've already complied with you and I'm making a case saying, like, hey, these aren't accessories. Like, this isn't for aesthetics. This is for prescription. Like, I need these to be compliant with the Department of Transportation. Figure it out if you want to continue working here. Okay. I got you. I got you. But like a good egg that I am, I figured it out. And although I'm still using the metas, it's just because I'm waiting on another pair to come in. I got a regular pair of glasses that'll be coming in, and I will wear those. I will bow to the bourgeois daddy. And I think at the root of it, right, that's where I get angry. Like, if I have to take a deep dive into the psychology, that if I have to take a deep dive into the thought process and the psychology that's really bothering me about it, is that I was defeated. I was threatened. My security and my finances were threatened. And just because I don't see a problem with wearing them, especially if I'm obeying the rules, now that I know the rules are, you know, I don't feel I should have to bow. Like that, that's, I think at the end of the day, that's what bothered me. And it still kind of bothers me is, you know, I gotta sacrifice my values, compromise my values, my morals, and do what I'm told to do by my corporate or overlord. I don't like that, especially considering that I view myself as a pretty free and sovereign human being that plays by the rules. And those rules are not clearly defined. In my world, I'm playing by the rules. I'm not recording. I'm not doing no shit. I'm just wearing them. Like, ugh. And I get the call from HR, and then they define their rules verbally. And the one, where they say, don't be recording people, machines, this, that, and the third, even if you're not using the machinery or driving. Okay, well, that's not defined in the handbook, but I do have common sense sometimes, and I do have somewhat of morals. I get that. I think that's pretty reasonable. Like, from a business standpoint, from an anonymity standpoint, from a respect standpoint, okay, I can rock with that. You don't even need to put that in the handbook. Like, I got you. I got you. I didn't think it was a problem, but you guys do. And after explaining it to me, I can understand where you're coming from. I got you. But that's what just rubs me the wrong way is then you keep telling me to refer to the handbook, refer to the handbook, refer to the handbook. I refer to the fucking handbook, and what do you know? It says not to operate them. Well, I wasn't. Well, no, you can't have them, period. That's not what it says in the handbook. Fuck you. Right? Like that's where my gripe comes in. That's not what it says in the handbook. I'll play by your rules and I won't operate them and I won't film anything, I won't record anything. But now you're telling me that you don't trust me enough? Like that's what it feels like to me. And I could be 100% wrong, but it feels like you don't trust me enough that I won't do what you said. I don't like being told what to do, goddammit. I don't like being controlled. And unfortunately, these fuckers are controlling me because I value my job security, my finances, a paycheck more, right? Like I got to put it on that scale. Like, what do I value more? My individual freedoms and sovereignty to record fucking content or have these fucking stupid ass glasses on during the day at my job, or being able to provide for my family and myself. Look, to most rational people, it's an easy choice, right? And it is an easy choice. But there's still that thing in me where I'm just like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. And that's what I want to say to them. But like a good egg, I ordered some plain Jane glasses, got them coming, and I'll wear them during the day. And I also sent them an email. I said, per our discussion this morning, I just wanted to bring it to both of your attentions that I have ordered new glasses. They're going to take about 2 weeks to get in. I appreciate your leniency and your understanding regarding this matter. And they sent me an email back and just said, thank you, Pd PopOff. Thank you. And it's like, goddamn, dude. And here's my other argument, right? I drive truck. You sons of bitches can record me all day through this fucking camera that's in the truck. It faces inward and outward. You can record me all fucking day with my consent. Granted, I have to give consent or I don't have a job, right? I could say no, I don't give you consent, but then I don't have a job. So it's really not, there's no free will there either. But I can't wear meta glasses that are capable of recording, even though I'm not. Fuck you, man. Ugh. I hate it. Fucking hate it. Well, anyways, that wraps it up. I don't know if anybody else can relate, not even necessarily to a job, maybe to a job, or maybe to just the circumstances in life where they have to compromise their individual values and morals, sometimes big ones, sometimes small ones, for the sake of a greater good. Right? Like I could have been super, like me personally, I could have been super selfish. I have in the past, if I'm being very, very bluntly honest with you, and told them to go fuck themselves and caused a big stink and a big argument and fought it tooth and nail. I could have, knowing that I was going to be right. Like, let's make no mistake, I was going to be right, but I wouldn't have won the battle. Right? Like, to me, it's like, what's worth more, being right or being like somewhat happy, having security, financial security, being able to take care of my family. Right? Like, that's a hard lesson that I've had to learn over the years, is that even though I'm a big proponent of fairness and facts and truth, even though I'm a huge proponent of that, it gets me in trouble. And then not only do I have to suffer, but my kids and my wife do. I don't fucking like it, man. I really don't. I mean, I'm trying my best to frame it like I'm doing the right thing, the noble thing, the mature thing. But there's still something in me that it's like, dude, once they chip away, dude, once they chip away at once you start chipping away at your values and morals and giving them up, you're going to keep doing it. You're just going to keep doing it. And then you're going to look back and be like, I'm a victim, and I'm not a fucking victim. And I know I might be taking this from 0 to 100, but like, it's real. I hate being put in that predicament. And I guess it really just boiled down to, what do I believe in more? You know, taking care of my family, my kids, having financial security, or not complying with made up rules. I guess that, I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody's gone through that. I don't know if anybody's ever dealt with that. If you have, feel free to chime in. And I guess there's levels to it. Like, the more I think about it, the more I have thought about it, there's levels to it, Like, something as small as that, I guess it's really no biggie. It's no big deal, right? There's real big things that I wouldn't compromise my values for, or or my morals for, that I would hope a company or a corporation would never ask me to. So, I don't know, man. Just venting a little bit. Just want to get some feedback if anybody's ever gone through that. If you have, feel free to comment, send an email. Make sure you check me out. I'm on the TikTok, I'm on the Instagram, I'm on the YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm over there on the Mark Zucker book. So much love. You might not have heard what you wanted to hear, but it's probably what you needed to hear.